أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت وباركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Inshallah, today we are going to start the full course of inheritance laws in Islam. It will be 15 classes to make you understand and learn the inheritance laws, and in turn it can be taught to others. The most neglected sharia laws in Islam are the inheritance laws. There is an easy reference chart I have prepared by the grace of Allah, from which any hair's share can be calculated. Inshallah, we will be discussing at the end of the full course about the chart. There are 4 ways this has been presented. A full inheritance laws in PowerPoint presentation to learn in about 15 classes. And second one, as I said, is a chart form for easy reference and can be used by anybody to find out a hair and a share. And the third one is a PowerPoint flow chart similar to the number 2 above, where we can find out the shares by just clicking the buttons. And the fourth one is a short presentation for general public awareness that in turn can be taught to others, just to create an awareness among the people. And this presentation, what we are going to make today, is the first one, that is the full inheritance laws in about 15 classes. There are guidelines. Learn lesson by lesson. Under each lesson, suggestions are made at the beginning as to how to study. Please follow these guidelines. Repeat the lessons till you understand. This is how I studied and the difficulties which I faced during the course of study, and that is how I put forward these guidelines for you to study, because initially it becomes very boring subject. You cannot go deeper into that, you don't understand anything, and finally you may leave it up. But if you follow the guidelines and be determined, you can master the inheritance laws. May Allah reward us. The laws of inheritance are from Allah and His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you find in this presentation anything contradictory to what Allah or His Prophet have said it is by mistake and you need not take that. I ask for forgiveness from Allah for the same. I am not a scholar, but this information has been collected from the books and presented in a different form. Any mistakes is not intentional. May Allah accept this work from me, and my humble request is to pray for me. May Allah reward us both for the work. At the same time, if there are any mistakes, corrections or suggestions, please inform me to the address given below. This is my address for communication, and the permanent address and the email. If there are any corrections or mistakes, you can kindly inform me on the said address. So please read this. In the beginning, it seems very interesting to start the learning. But after a few classes, you may feel that it is very boring and dry subject. At this stage, please be determined to continue. And don't leave it up. Go through the classes again and again. Only when you have finished 2-3 times, you will feel that you have understood the laws of inheritance. Once you learn, it becomes very interesting. If you are a genuine learner, please proceed now. Be determined not to discontinue during any period of time till you complete and master it. This is the lesson 1. In this lesson, a brief introduction about the laws of inheritance, Prophet ﷺ's Hadith and the Quranic Verses are taught. That is the beginning. We start with that. learn the Quranic verses by heart and learn the meaning. When you come to the next class, this is your homework. Learn the Quranic verses by heart as well as the Prophet ﷺ Hadith. Now the introduction, Islamic law of inheritance. It is the only one perfect system of property distribution in the world. If you see the other religions, there is no proper way of distribution of the property. It's all based on the will or testament. And no doubt it is from the Creator who knows the best. In spite of this, it is the one which is the most neglected by the Muslims. And property division after a person's death involves the property and the wealth of the person died. The rules have been laid down in Quran and by Prophet's Sunnah. It is very important to distribute the property as per the sharia laws in Islam. Punishment for not adhering to rules in property division are grave and serious. At the end of the rules of inheritance verses in Surah Al-Nisa, Quran says, Allah says, these are the limits set by Allah. Whoever obeys Allah and His Messenger will be admitted to paradise. And whoever disobeys Allah and His Messenger and transgresses His limits will be made to enter into hellfire permanently, and he shall have a disgraceful torment. Punishment for not abiding the rules. As mentioned earlier, it is permanent hellfire. As per Hadith quoted by Abu Huraira, Prophet ﷺ said, a man might perform actions of righteous people for 70 years, but when it is time to compile his will, commits injustice, and because of this he enters the fire. I repeat again, Prophet ﷺ said, a man might perform actions of righteous people for 70 years. That we can say the whole of his lifetime he may perform good deeds, but when it is time to compile his will, commits injustice, and because of this he enters the fire. Similarly, a man might perform ill deeds for 70 years, but leaves a fair will and thus enters paradise. Property, however small, should be divided and given to the heirs. Heirs are the eligible persons. The whole property belongs to Allah and should be divided as per His rules. But man has a strange feeling that it is earned by them, but actually it is given by Allah. Just imagine Allah takes away one's life before he earns any property, or Allah makes him handicapped, or makes huge losses to him through calamities. Then where is your wealth, money or property? We never think of the blessings from Allah. We never thank Him. We try to find some means to escape from giving the property to relatives. Be grateful to Him for the blessings and distribute the property as per His rules. Another thing to remember is the property division is based on family ties in Islam. In Islam, property division is not based on who is poor or rich, but it is based on blood relations and family ties. Even a rich relative of a poor man, as per Islam, should get the property if he is eligible, and this family system is completely lost these days. Educate the people. Our responsibility is to teach the people as per the Prophet ﷺ command, which we will come to that later. Teach it to the people and do your job. If anybody disobeys and plays false in property division, he will bear the punishment as above. So my request is to spread this message to as many people as possible, so that property division is properly followed the way Prophet had taught us. Importance of learning the Islamic laws of inheritance. Prophet ﷺ says, there is a hadith, تَعَلَّمُوا الْفَرَائِلَ وعلموها فإنه نصف العلم وهو ينسى وهو أول شيء ينزع من أمتي. Learn the laws of inheritance and teach it to the people. It is one half of useful knowledge. It is going to be forgotten, and it is the first one to be raised off from my people. Reported from Abu Hurairah. As we can see here, the Prophet has commanded us, learn the laws of inheritance and to teach it to the people. Why? Because it is one half of the useful knowledge, and Prophet also said that it is to be forgotten. It is going to be forgotten, and it is the first one to be raised off from my people. There is a second hadith. Al-ilmu salasatun wa ma siwa dhalika fahuwa fadlun ayatun muhkamatun aw sunnatun qa'ima aw farilatun adila. Useful knowledge are three in number: Quranic verses, Prophet's sunnah, and the law of inheritance. The third hadith: ta'allamul Qur'ana wa allimuhu an-nas wa ta'allamul fara'ila wa allimuha fa inni imra'un maqbulun wal ilmu marfu'un wa yusiku an yakhtalifa ismani fi farilatin wal mas'alati fala yajdani ahadan yukhbarihuma. Learn the Quran and teach it to the people. Learn the laws of inheritance and teach it to the people. I am a human being who is going to die, and the knowledge will disappear. A time may come when two people will argue about the property distribution, and no one may be there to answer their problems. Inshallah, you can take up this issue and teach it to the people, and you can solve the people's problems whenever there is a property division comes up. In Arab worlds, this is followed properly, but in most of the non-Arab worlds, because of the lack of knowledge, these are not followed properly. And even in the Indian continents, if you ask anybody how the property is divided, and most of the time the answer is as per the Hindu law or as per the local customs, that when somebody dies, it goes to the children. That is the only knowledge everybody, even the Muslims, have. And that is a very sad state of affairs. We will go to the Quranic verses. In the chapter 4, Surah An-Nisa, verses starting from 7 to 14 and verse 176 deals with the inheritance rules. Study with meaning and by heart them. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. للرجال نصيب مما ترك الوالدان والأقربون وللنساء نصيب مما ترك الوالدان والأقربون مما قل منه أو كثر نصيبا مفروضا. There is a share for men from what is left by parents and those nearest related, and there is a share for women from what is left by parents and nearest related, whether the property be small or large, a decided share. Surah An-Nisa, ayat number 7. Ayat number 11 in Surah An-Nisa. Yusikumullahu fi awladikum lidhakari misla hallil unsayayn wa in kunna nisa'an fawqa ithnatayn falahunna sulusa ma tarak wa in kanat wahidatan falahan nisf. Allah commands you as regards your children, to the male a portion equal to that of two females. If only daughters, two or more, for them their share is 2/3. If only one, her share is half. وَلِأَبَوَيْهِ لِكُلِّ وَاحِدٍ مِّنْهُمَا السُّدُسُ مِمَّا تَرَكَ إِنْ كَانَ لَهُ وَلَدٌ وَإِنْ لَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ وَلَدٌ وَوَرِثَهُ أَبَوَاهُ فَلِأُمِّهِ الثُّلُثُ فإن كان له إخوة ولأمه السدس. For parents, to each of them 1/6 of what has been left behind. If the deceased left children, if no children and the parents are the heirs, then mother's share is 1/3. If the deceased has left behind brothers or sisters, the mother has a 1/6. من بعد وصية يوصي بها أو دين آباؤكم وأبناؤكم لا تدرون أيهم أقرب لكم نفعا فريضة من الله إن الله كان عليما حكيما. After the payment of legacies and debts, you know not whether your parents or your children are the nearest to you in benefit. These are the portions ordered by Allah. Allah is all-knowing, all-wise. That is Surah An-Nisa, ayat number 11. Briefing about the share of the children and the parents. Ayat number 12. وَلَكُمْ نِصْفُ مَا تَرَكَ أَزْوَاجُكُمْ إِنْ لَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُنَّ وَلَدٌ فَإِنْ كَانَ لَهُنَّ وَلَدٌ فَلَكُمُ الرُّبُعُ مِمَّا تَرَكْنَ مِنْ بَعْدِ وَصِيَّةٍ يُوصِينَ بِهَا أَوْ دَيْنٍ. Your share is half in what our wives leave if they have no child. But if they have a child, you get a fourth of what they leave after payment of legacies and debts. It continues, وَلَهُنَّ الرُّبُعُ مِمَّا تَرَكْتُمْ إِنْ لَمْ يَكُنْ لَكُمْ وَلَدٌ فَإِنْ كَانَ لَكُمْ وَلَدٌ فَلَهُنَّ الثُّمُنُ مِمَّا تَرَكْتُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ وَصِيَّةٍ تُوصُونَ بِهَا أَوْ دَيْنٍ. And for them, that is your wives, 1/4 from what you have left if you don't have a child. If you have a child, they get 1/8 from what you have left behind after the settlement of debts and legacies. Same ayat continues, وَإِنْ كَانَ رَجُلٌ يُورِثُ كَلَالَةً أَوْ إِمْرَأَةٌ وَلَهُ أَخٌ أَوْ أُخْتٌ فَلِكُلِّ وَاحِدٍ مِنْهُمَا السُّدُسُ فَإِنْ كَانُوا أَكْثَرَ مِنْ ذَلِكَ فَهُمْ شُرَكَاءَ فِي الثُّلُثِ مِنْ بَعْدِ وَصِيَّةٍ يُوصَى بِهَا أَوْ دَيْنٍ غَيْرَ مُضَارٍّ وَصِيَّةً مِنَ اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ حَلِيمٌ. If a man or a woman dies in a state of kalala, that is with no ascendants or descendants, and he or she has a brother or sister, then each of one of them will get 1/6. But if more than two, they share 1/3 after payment of debts and legacies, without any harm to anyone. Thus it is ordained by Allah. Allah is all-knowing, most forbearing. Ayat number 13 and 14. تِلْكَ حُدُودُ اللَّهِ وَمَنْ يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ يُدْخِلْهُ جَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا وَذَلِكَ الْفَوْزُ الْعَظِيمُ وَمَنْ يَعْصِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ وَيَتَعَدَّ حُدُودَهُ يُدْخِلْهُ نَارًا خَالِدًا فِيهَا وَلَهُ عَذَابٌ مُهِينٌ. Those are limits set by Allah. Those who obey Allah and His Apostle will be admitted to gardens with rivers flowing beneath, to abide therein forever, and that is the most supreme victory. But those who disobey Allah and His Apostle and transgress His limits will be admitted to fire, to abide therein, and they shall have a humiliating punishment. We come to the last verse in Surah An-Nisa, 176. يَسْتَفْتُونَكَ قُلِ اللَّهُ يُفْتِيكُمْ فِي الْكَلَالَةِ إِنِ امْرُؤٌ هَلَكَ لَيْسَ لَهُ وَلَدٌ وَلَهُ أُخْتٌ فَلَهَا النِّصْفُ مَا تَرَكَ وَهُوَ يَرِثُهَا إِنْ لَمْ يَكُنْ لَهَا وَلَدٌ وَإِنْ كَانَتْ اثْنَتَيْنِ فَلَهُمَا الثُّلُثَانِ مِمَّا تَرَكَ وَإِنْ كَانُوا إِخْوَةً رِجَالًا وَنِسَاءً فَلِلذَّكَرِ مِثْلُ حَظِّ الْأُنْثَيَيْنِ يُبَيِّنُ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ أَنْ تَضِلُّوا وَاللَّهُ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمٌ. They ask you for a legal decision. Say, God directs about those who leave no descendants or ascendants as heirs. If it is a man that dies leaving a sister but no child, she shall have half the inheritance. If deceased was a woman who left no child, her brothers take her inheritance. If there are two sisters, they shall have 2/3 of the inheritance. If there are brothers and sisters, they share with male having twice that of a female. Thus God makes clear to you so that you don't err. God has knowledge of all things. Those are the ayat. The ayat number 7 briefly describes about the males and females share, and then 11 and 12, 13, 14, and ayat number 176. We'll have a small session with the reading the ayah so that all of us can read it now, so that you remember and you learn by next week. Can somebody start reading the ayah?
ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم